People argue about meal frequency like it is a personality test. 3 meals means disciplined, 6 meals means optimized, fasting means enlightened. But if someone asks, how many times should I eat today? What is the first honest answer?
The first honest answer is, count the meals only after you count what the meals do. Eating 6 smaller meals does not automatically raise daily energy burn enough to matter. Eating fewer meals does not automatically cause fat loss. The lever is usually whether the schedule helps you eat appropriate portions, enough protein and fiber, and fewer calorie-dense extras without feeling so deprived that you rebound at night. That is why the recent time-restricted eating trial is useful. Adults with obesity using an 8-hour eating window reduced eating occasions by about 1.1 meals per day. They also reported roughly 469 fewer calories per day, with lower saturated fat and refined grain intake. But the key comparison is important. Those changes were not statistically different from a standard 15% energy-restricted diet.
So when a fasting plan works, it may be because it removes an eating opportunity, but what about breakfast? In that trial, breakfast became much less likely. Is skipping breakfast harmless? Or is that a place where adult weight loss logic collides with child and teen data?
That is exactly the collision. A 2026 systematic review and meta-analysis in children and adolescents found skipping main meals was associated with higher odds of overweight or obesity. Breakfast skipping had an odds ratio of 1.26, lunch 1.24, and dinner 1.42. But these were observational studies, so they cannot prove skipping caused the weight outcome. Meal skipping may also mark stress, sleep disruption, food insecurity, or low diet quality. So I would not casually prescribe skipped meals to kids, pregnant people, people with a history of eating disorders, or anyone whose diabetes medication can cause hypoglycemia. Reflux, bariatric surgery, and some gastrointestinal conditions can also change the safest pattern. The schedule that looks efficient on a podcast may be a bad fit for a person whose physiology or treatment plan needs steadier intake.
Then is 6 meals ever useful? Some people swear they are calmer when they eat every few hours, while others say grazing makes them think about food all day. Is appetite the real test rather than metabolism?
Yes, 6 meals can be useful if they're actually planned. Smaller portions, protein included, vegetables or fruit showing up, and snack foods not silently becoming meal number 7 and 8. The problem is not the number 6. It is low satiety, high convenience food. If each eating occasion is a little processed treat, frequency increases exposure to calories, sodium, saturated fat, and added sugars. There is also a protein distribution reason not to make the window too chaotic. Muscle protein synthesis responds to amino acid availability in pulses, so many active adults do better spreading protein across meals instead of saving nearly all of it for dinner. That does not demand 6 meals. It may mean 3 protein-containing meals, or 2 meals plus a deliberate protein snack, depending on appetite and training.
What about blood sugar? People hear that smaller meals flatten glucose spikes, then hear that fewer meals improve insulin because there is more time between them. Can both claims be partly true, depending on the meal?
Both can be partly true, but medication is where timing becomes concrete. A systematic review on antipsychotics found highly drug-specific food effects. Lurasidone and ziprasidone exposure increased 2 to 3-fold when taken with a meal of at least about 350 to 500 calories. Amisulpride exposure went the opposite direction, with food reducing absorption by about 25%. That is not wellness trivia, it is dosing reliability.
If someone wants to test their own pattern for 2 weeks, what should they actually measure? Because I ate 4 times tells me almost nothing if I do not know the portions, protein, fiber, added sugar, or whether the 4th time was dinner or a sleeve of cookies.
I would run it like a small experiment, not a belief system. Pick a schedule you can repeat on workdays and weekends. Track hunger before meals, evening cravings, energy, training quality if relevant, and average intake. Also track diet quality. Vegetables, fruit, protein foods, whole grains, sodium, saturated fat, and added sugar. If the new frequency lowers chaos but worsens food quality, it is not an upgrade. And change expectations if the schedule produces warning signs: dizziness, binge episodes, anxiety around eating windows, missed medications, worsening reflux, or repeated low glucose readings. People using insulin or sulfonylureas, people after bariatric surgery, and people in eating disorder recovery should make timing changes with a clinician or registered dietitian. In those cases, consistency may be the treatment, not the obstacle.
So the practical answer is not 3 meals or 6 meals. It is choose the fewest or most meals that lets you eat enough high-quality food, distribute protein, avoid unplanned extras, match medications, and keep your life workable. If the schedule only wins on a clock graphic, it has not won in the body.